Good morning, Monday morning. It's raining, little thunderstorms. I was gonna tell you a quick story that I was told from people that came out of World War II in concentration camps. And the story I was told when I was a little girl, and the gist is that to enable them not to ever be the group that is oppressed and chastised for being born into a religion, they felt that it is easier for them to gear everybody's attention towards black people and chastise black people, so that they, so the same thing that happened to them in Germany would not happen to them again, because it'll be refracted onto the people of color. And one of the most important things that you had to do first to disassociate them from the reality that they also are the native people here, compound the lie of all black people came over from Africa when came over on boats from Africa, when the reality at that time all white people came over from boats from Europe, escaping World War One and escaping World War Two. And because in their lifetime they had never been without war, at least the people that I was hearing this from, that the war was going to continue. There was no way that it would stop, because it's making too much money, and too many very rich people feel that's their power, and plus it's a big income. So their plan basically was to retard the children's growth, and that is by taking music, art out of it, institutionalizing them in a sense to where they will be funneled right into the prison system, which is now private. A lot are privatized, but we also right now have the highest amount of people incarcerated in the world is in the United States. And so you have to get them to disassociate. One way to disassociate is to change, to make them shame of who they are. Negro, something to be ashamed of. Same thing with a woman, to be shamed, like if you're a teenager and you have a pregnancy, or it's a shame that somebody rapes you, and there's a shame at always having to worry about the gratification over some male, lusting after you, and you have to forego your own wants and needs and feel that that is the only acceptable way. And and like they used to tell me when I was a kid, acting is believing. So if you act like it long enough, you'll believe it, even though after 3 marriages it doesn't work. Anyway, so that's why we have more militarized police to come right down the middle of the neighborhood, supposedly, and and can do havoc on it. And so, like, basically what they were saying is that we let in a whole bunch of perverted psychopaths that they're out to do chaos, all in because they don't want to be poor, and they don't ever want to be in a concentration camp, and they were seeing this area as a promise that they will be not in a war zone. So today we might be looking at the idea that our school systems are lacking the money that it needs to be run proper. It doesn't have the music, the art, or home economics anymore, which I find very basics for children to learn, if nothing else, how to cooperate and to finish a job from the beginning to the end. Start off with nothing and end up with something nice, like when you do home economics and you make clothes, or you do wood shop, or you rebuild a carburetor, or something like that. You know, it helps you understand and visualize, you know, the hand and eye coordination. Anyway, it helps you brain learn quicker. And so I say right now we really do have to fix our school, because you're going to look at the food problem. This is going to be the first generation of these kids born right today that's going to not live as long as their parents, for a disease that is curable, you know, type 2 diabetes. And a lot of it is we drive, we don't walk. They take in gym mostly out of the schools, you know, a lot of activities. And we have single household run families. So and the parents, you know, that single parents working 40 hours a week, right? So and the things that we get seen and pumped on TV is McDonald's or something like that, etc. Or microwave food that they bring in the house. So real food, you know, I think is the real issue. Really cooking and cooking something to your taste, using onions and using butter, using garlic and oregano and all this stuff, and really cooking. It doesn't take as long as like I have to admit that I have recipe books. I read them like I would read a story, and then I just when I get in there and cooking, you know, because I don't always have everything that I have in a recipe book, but I've been cooking such a long time that I know what I like. And that's what you know, it gets hard, like, because I do my menu, you know, once a month. It gets hard living in the ghetto, especially here in Memphis, on the southwest side. You know, there's grocery stores I could walk to, but you know, it wouldn't really be that bad if I had a car. But this city was not made for walking or any exercise. So to sum it up, basically there was a plan that supposedly, that this is what it was told to me by some Jewish people, Russian. Well, was it? Yeah, I guess basically they were all from the same place, but they you know, they never wanted to be poor. The black people was going to take the place of how the Jews had it when they was in Germany, you know, by gelling them, retarding their growth by not allowing to educate. That's why it's very important for a woman to understand that her place is not to, you know, really weigh on every wants and needs of a grown man, but really on their child, because and that means that you have to hit the child. There had to be sexual abuse. It had to be physical or sexual or both abuse. You know, that's part of it. Because you have certain type of people, ones that was abused that will continue to abuse. Like you have people that's like say, oh, my mama whooped me and I thank her for whooping me. You know, even though like if you hear them, if you see them as a child, they screamed and hollered and cried out in severe pain, and you know, wanted to kill their mom after, you know, the beating or the whooping. You know, if you listen to them, but you know, or they'll say are the same, like now that they're African American, which is another thing. Stop you from being Negro, making it a shameful thing. Then you went from black to now African American, which is totally disconnects you from any reality of any continent that we have, because we just don't have a continent called African American. You know, so now we're in a place there's no place. So they done moved us out reality into some la 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 sex land, and don't forget to watch your sports. You know, and don't forget to whoop. So whooping your kids has been known to be so anyway. So the other excuse is like the white man did it to us, so that now we're doing it, which I see very prevalent in the South with African American. They were oppressed so many years, and just like a child that got sexually abused or physically abused, the oppressed child is now the oppressor. They now they're doing it to their kids. So we have a very sick society where I don't know if there's not a major change with the way we're doing things. If America will, their thing is 2060. That'll be the end of America. I'm saying that with the type of way the 1% is running the world right now, I don't even think it's going to make it to 2060, and I don't think it's going to be the United States it just goes. I think we're going to have a major earthquake. That's probably we're going to have some major problems. Earthquakes, trigger hurricanes and typhoons, or something's going to happen. But with that fracking, I was in my mind, I imagined these plates that are moving around all on the planet. Let's not call them plates. Let's say different land masses are sitting on water and are floating. Let's just use, for example, like Hawaii. Like that's an island, and it's floating on the thing. So even though it's floating, right, but there's still other islands, and what you can't see underneath is like maybe it's a bigger island to support all the weight, that it goes all the way down. So let's say it's not really connected to the ground, but a bigger bottom part of it that's underneath the ground that you can't see bangs into another Hawaii island, right? But you really can't tell, or a piece that's under the water breaks off and hits off into the other, and all this shaking. So you could have a piece that's over here that the top part doesn't feel it. It's underneath the water. It breaks off. It hits another part, Hawaii island, and maybe that down on the bottom there. And then that piece hits another one, and then maybe, let's say in the Philippines, it's higher up. So it could be banging together, not necessarily pulling apart, banging together, and that's sort of how I see mountains coming. Here they are like this, keep pushing. So you gotta imagine maybe they could push and break. Anyway, so anyway, the short of the story is that the plan to house anyway, it's a mass failure, because the one thing different is that the Jewish people, I think the mothers did a very good job of passing on information, and the fathers did a very good job of passing on information too, except for when it comes to like a lot of anyway, well, I don't see a bunch of doctors, lawyers, or anything like coming out of this neighborhood. The only thing I see coming out of this neighborhood is very sad, is a bunch of people that are hell-bent on finishing the job the white man was doing, which was, killing them, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, it's very sad here. It looks very sad, very sad. Very, very sad. So, and you could just look at the diabetes rate. You could just look at the cancer rate. You could look at the our incarceration rate, and so ooh, it's coming down there, and you can see that what we're doing is more self-destructive. I don't know. It's like we have a crazy world.